My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Hearthstone, specifically the Dalaran Heist. We're going to be continuing with Anomaly Rattling, all death rattles trigger twice, as well as probably going to the Dalaran Bank, unless Hunter has... Yeah, Hunter has completed that. I'm going to try and do Death Rattle Hunter rather than Death Rattle Rogue. I've done enough Death Rattle Rogue in the recent past.
Such beautiful creatures. We must unleash them.
So a lot of those one mana creatures that pet training can transform into have very unimpactful death rattles, but they have death rattles nonetheless. So I figure that's probably what I'm going to want to buff here. Gain. Now, Tech and Death seems the obvious choice here with double death rattles, but also due to the fact that 9 lives discovers a death rattle minion and triggers a death rattle, it's kind of double dipping. And the death rattle triggered from 9 lives does double as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to be Tech and Death there. I mean, it'll probably be Hunter's second wing complete. We're making progress. Let's see if we can get there before they release whatever single player adventure they're going to release alongside Uldum.
Locked up and loaded.
Look what the cat dragged in. Here for a cut.
No, I've got a mold for the low cost stuff. We have a lot of one costs in this deck. Yeah, so taking the opening, just hoping that it was going to work out, probably wasn't going to be a good idea. Mecharoo into Fireworks Tech is real good here. And considering the enemy doesn't have a minion on board on the turn 1, which they would if we had the Coinfield Coffers on, right? Because they would have the Cache of Cash there. But since they don't have anything there, they're very unlikely to be able... Damn, they can do it. Nope, they hit my face. All right. Very unlikely to be able to remove my minion.
I wonder what this does.
So now I get 2 1/1s. Hell yeah. We're kind of just going to be able to run the enemy over without. Mecharoo is actually going to be really, really important for this deck. Not only because it helps us establish early board control just because it's a really good minion, but a lot of the later Hunter cards that are focused around Death Rattle are also focused around mech. You can see an example of that in Fireworks Tech and Spider Bomb, both here being mech interactions, one of them a mech that is magnetic and one of them only giving +1/+1 to a friendly mech, and also having Death Rattle interactions. So having a minion already developed to the board that is very, very sticky, that has the ability to be magnetized to, but also the ability to have its death rattle triggered for board control is going to be really important. So if I get the ability to like gangs all here Mecharoo, I'll do it. Do that. Nothing else that I have to consider as well for this character, right? I just go for the face until I win. Pretty sure that's it. How much of Hunter's Death Rattle package is expensive? Because it's actually a surprising amount. Necromechanic used to be 5 mana? I think Necromechanic used to be 5 mana. It was moved down to 4 as a 4 mana 3/6. It is all Death Rattles triggered twice. So we actually don't even need to consider Necromechanic. It's useless in the circumstance. But like Abominable Bowman, 6 mana, 7 mana, 6/7. Death Rattle, summon a random friendly beast that has died. Obviously, Savannah Highmane is a 6 mana Death Rattle as well. A lot of the legendaries are Death Rattles and quite expensive as well. I think just because Rocket Backpacks isn't as great here. Like, yes, I summon a lot of minions with my Death Rattles and those would have rush. And yes, I have the ability to hit the board with the Spider Bomb and immediately rush it into something. Yeah, I think Rocket Backpacks is the correct choice. But I very rarely take Robes of Gaudiness and it's ridiculously powerful. Or rather, I think Rocket Backpacks is a correct choice. Whereas I think Robes of Gaudiness gives me a lot more that I can do here. So Infested Wolf is a great possible pickup here. The spiders from Infested Wolf don't count as beasts, do they? No, they do. They do specifically count as beasts, I think. Because, like, there's precedent in the game for spiders being beasts. But also there's precedent in the game for spiders not being beasts. There's the 2-mana 1/2 Infested Creeper, or whatever its name is. I can't remember its name because it's so long ago. It's old Nax card. But it summons 2 1/1 spiders. The spiders it summons are spectral though, so that might explain why they're not beasts. Mech Warper, Piloted Shredder, Wargear. I mean, you know, Piloted Shredder double triggering is pretty good. Infested Wolf double triggering is pretty good. Spirit of the Lynx is unlikely to be that good for us. We have a couple of beasts in here, not that many. Mad Summoner is going to be garbage for us a lot of the time. Because we'll be able to develop earlier the Mad Summoner than our enemies will be able to develop their own board. So we will give them the benefit of filling their board with 1/1 imps, whereas ours probably has minions on it already. So it's definitely technological here. And that'll also buff our ability to find technological later, although we are really looking for Death Rattle. There is an overlap there. Obviously, Sneed's Old Shredder is the 8-mana 5/7. 7-mana 5/8? 8-mana 5/7? 8-mana 5/8 that has Death Rattle summon a random legendary minion. That used to be a lot better of a card just a while ago.
He's on for you, dog boy.
Right. Clockwork Gnome turn 1. Hero Power as well. It's important to remember that we only have the Clockwork and plated them. It's important to remember that we only have the ability to play 2 cards a turn from the Robes of Gaudiness. So for that reason, like, drawing a bunch of cards isn't relevant to us. Like, occasionally generating extra cards is the most relevant thing. So that occasional generation of extra cards would be like a Death Rattle that puts a card in my hand. Because then that triggers twice, and it would take me a whole turn just to play those 2. Wow, that's a really early war gear. Ooh, am I embarrassed for you? Okay, never mind, not anymore. Discover a friendly Death Rattle minion that died this game. So a minion that is magnetized to another minion is played as a buff, so I don't think it would be able to be discovered by 9 lives. That said, the enemy doesn't have much direct removal in that entire deck. I don't think they have an execute or anything like that. So I think the best case scenario here is they cleave and then run both Happy Ghouls into the Pilot Shredder. And even then, they're 1 damage short unless they have improved morale as well. Okay. I feel confident at the very least. Oh, by the way, Benevolent Djinn was such a great pull for them. It's not going to stop me from murdering them, but it was a good pull. Sorry, my voice has been off for a couple of days and I can still hear it in my ears. It's not correct. Boom Master Flark. Ooh, that's going to be good. So the big benefit of Boom Master Flark is, for us, that the Goblin Bombs have their Death Rattle doubled, so they actually end up dealing 16 damage to the enemy's face. But more than that, Boom Master Flark is 3 costs for us, because odds are rounded down for the cost of Robes of Gaudiness, which makes Boom Master Flark an incredible card. Galvanizer isn't great. We don't really need mana boost at all. Oblivitron, summon a mech from your hand and trigger its Death Rattle. I mean, that could be fine, and especially we're very likely to put more mechs in the deck. None of these other ones are even slightly considerable here. I mean, Ball of Spiders will put 6 cards into my hand after having played it and they all die. I mean, it's great if I need those cards, but also Mad Summoner's bad. Infested Wolf is okay. Boom Master Flark and Oblivitron are going to work really, really well the more things in the technological packets I pick up.
Shining moon priestess. We should introduce her to Baku.
I always feel like I have to clear my throat. Like I'm just away from sounding normal, but it's a good throat clear and it never comes. It's like the sneeze that never comes. Ooh, look at that Mekaru.
Moon Priestess power!
Alright. Excuse me. So, Mekaru, hero power. Now, if I really want to establish board control, what I do here is also play the Shifting Chameleon as just a 1/1. Okay. Well, we found a play that I can play instead of the Piloted Shredder, but I only play it instead of the Piloted Shredder if I expect to play Oblivitron and then have Oblivitron die, pulling out the Piloted Shredder and triggering its ability. But if the Oblivitron dies and pulls out the Piloted Shredder, it'll create 2 minions as well as Oblivitron, as well as the Piloted Shredder, as well as the Cobalt Guardian, as well as whatever minions I have on board at that point. Yeah, that's actually just not... it's an untenable situation. I should have just played the Piloted Shredder, though. This is a bit of a greedy play here. I may end up just playing Flark. Yeah. Just to get a 5-mana minion on the board. Sorry, 5 attack minion on the board. So all healing is doubled. So even if the enemy like Arcanine circles me, only the healing is doubled. So they wouldn't be able to actually kill my board. Is effectively what I was trying to say now. A lot of this is going to be us running enemies over, and if we're ever going to lose, it's going to be the enemy is stabilized, they've cleared our board, we have no cards in hand, we're not generating that much value per turn. So we do need really big cards, ideally. I mean, I still just go all face, right? So yeah, I do need particularly large minions, but how often am I going to find those in the technologic packets? Could have done that in the other order, you know? Definitely could have done that in the other order. Play the Arcanine Priestess at the very start? No, you don't want to. I can't imagine why. Yeah, last turn. Short-term memory, gee.
Such a beautiful weapon. It reaps and sows havoc.
So Soul Reaper's Scythe, it's Death Rattle triggers twice. Yeah, I have to take it. I can play it really, really quickly, and it can do some cool stuff. Ursatron draws 2 mechs from my deck for me. That's really good. Spider Bomb double triggers to double destroy all enemy Death Rattles, and I've just put more mechs in my deck that have Death Rattles, so Oblivitron is fine. Oblivitron also has the possibility of pulling Oblivitron out of my deck, which could be fun.
You aren't taking a break, are you? There's work to be done.
So anything that is lower than 3 cost at this point, other than maybe the Fireworks tech, I want to remove from my deck. So if I get maybe 2, possibly 3 low-cost minions, I'll fire them all happily. Really wish that would stop coming up. Oh, this one's just simple. Bob's Bar.
All are welcome here. Just don't cause any trouble.
Do I want like a whole thing of Flarks? Because I do have 2 low-cost minions. Maybe I gangs all here the Pilot Shredder and then fire everyone. Because, like, Flark is okay, but only okay if I have space on the board and then the ability to trigger the Goblin Bombs. And number one, I don't really have space on the board. And number two, I don't really have the ability to trigger the Goblin Bombs. Maybe I'm fine with not having Flark.
Conundrum age.
The story then Gangsol here doesn't work, does it? I don't think it... I thought it might have been changed because I saw Trump SC do it in a video, but
Gots to.
maybe he was just wrong? It was a recent one as well. Well, I'm doing the same thing regardless, right? Do I upper hand? I don't need to upper hand, so fine. I'll just tell a story, Gangsol here, and we'll see if it works. It says that 6/5s are going into my deck, but we'll see after we leave this screen. That's the Abominable Bowman, by the way. It's just we don't have many beasts in the deck anymore, so it's not really value. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, no, they're back to 4/3s. Okay. That makes sense. It's still one of the best minions that I can play. Unfortunately, it is a turn 2 play rather than a turn 1 play, but our hero power, we can just drop a 1/1 on turn 1. If need be.
Versus Pogo.
Oh!
Lock, stop, and loaded.
Alright. I want an Oblivitron out as early as possible. This is going to be so good. It'll pull out another one, and then that'll pull out all of the other mechs in my hand. If I have any other mechs in my hand, that is. Yeah. That'll do. That said, the enemy doesn't remove that many minions. So I may never even trigger the death rattles of these. I need the death rattle of Ursatron to trigger before Oblivitron, so that Oblivitron, this one, when it has its death rattles triggered from this one, summons the mechs that Ursatron put into hands. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I want to see how this works out. I should have done the buff first, that's my bad. So that's get pulled out, that pulls out 2 more, and then that pulls out even more. So I'm not sure what order Oblivitron summons out of your hand, maybe right to left, maybe just... it has to be random, right? It has to be completely random. Yeah, otherwise it would have no targeting loss. Okay. Woo! Look at that game freezing and completely breaking and no longer can be played. Hell yeah! I love it when my game crashes while I'm trying to play my game. Wait for the program to respond. I can still hear the music. Music's bumping. It's fine. Hey, we even got reconnected. Beautiful. That's why it pays to just have a little bit of patience. Screw this! I can't wait anymore. You kidding me? Exit game. It would have worked better if I swore, but I don't swear. At least on the moment on the channel. Unable to reconnect your game? Are you kidding me? Ugh. Do I just lose like my whole run now? We've done this before and like it relaunched and it launched into the actual combat. All right. Oh, damn. I'm straight up offline. The hell? All right, and we're back online. Not sure how much of this I've cut out, if any. Can I just please not lose the entire run? Because I've been busy today. I haven't had a lot of time to record, and now I don't want to have to throw away the time that I have been recording. Come on. No, okay, the Hearthstone's just gonna completely crash on me constantly. Yeah! Alright. Hero power and then all face. I could have cleared the board if I really wanted to there with the Spider Bomb. It would have been Galvanizer plus Spider Bomb into the 3 HP Pogo Hopper. Alright. Yeah, they killed the right one. Or rather, the correct one. Boo hears. I can't kill any of my minions here, can I?
Gots to.
Nope. Well, clearly I should have gone for the clear last turn because now I'm paying for it. That's almost certainly... Yeah. Let's pretend I was going to say cheat death rather than immunity. It makes sense that it would be cheat death. I mean, it's another mechanic for multiple shuffling and blah, blah, blah. Or rather, multiplaying the same card. Okay, hang on. If I do that here... So let's get a random Shaman spell just in case it's like Earthshock. I wouldn't have even been able to play Earthshock that turn and I already have lethal. Awesome. Come on, and good pack. Technologic with Mechanical Whirl. Summon a 7/7 Mechanical Dragon. I get 2 of them. Now, Grotesque Dragonhawk and Double Abominable Bowman is fine. I don't think I need it, though. Also, because the Sorry Scythe only needs 3 minions in it until it overfills the board, consider that the Violet Hold means that I already have 1 place on my board taken up a lot of the time. That means it's not necessary that I use it every single fight, especially in that combat where the enemy doesn't have particularly strong minions. War Gear is really good as a turn 2 drop. 5 mana, 2/2. 2 mana, 5/5, sorry. Otherwise, that would have been an awful deal. Let's change. Hey, there we go. As much as I want to keep these, I'm going to throw everything except for the Galvanizer and just look for expensive mechs. Yeah, that's pretty good. So next turn I get to have a 12-13 on the board. That's pretty good. I'll actually split out the stats to multiple different minions here, just because I don't want to get hit by Deadly Shot. Or a Silence, actually. A Silence would also be pretty devastating to us. But this is an example, right? You can see I have a really, really good board state, but like as soon, like if that's Freezing Trap, I lose my board state completely. Thankfully, Web Spinner and Ursatron both promised to actually generate value into my hand. But you could see before that, I was just out of stuff in hand. Okay, so it was Dart Trap. That's fine. None of my minions on board were less than 6 HP. So if they were 5 HP, then Dart Trap would have been a problem for me. So I should have attacked before hero powering, but it doesn't matter when my minions are 6. So we're just gonna, like, murder you? right. That enemy could have actually generated minions that are worth hitting with the Sorobus Scythe, but 15 cards left in the deck. I think I'm not going to have to wait on the Sorobus Scythe. I'll just use it when it comes.
It was even worse when it was attached.
Maybe it's Hand of Reform. Why would it be Hand of Reform over any of the other options here? Well, the other options are good if I'm not already controlling the board, and I am already controlling the board often. Pretty hardcore. So I think Hand of Reform might actually just be extra damage to my enemy and kind of like anti-tempo them if they actually want to play the curses out of hand. And if they do want to play the curses out of hand and they hit the anti-tempo, then I'll just hit them in the face until they die. It has to be Emerus, right? Literally just because 5 mana 8/8 that doubles all other stuff is pretty good. Elec is also pretty good in that it's very likely to reveal high cost minions for me. All right, we'll take the Battlecry pack. Other than that, another consideration is the spells. Just because Animal Companion's 1 cost, so is Deadly Shot, and Varisa is 3. Again, odds rounded down. But Emerus and Lotheb are just more impactful.
Start a fight in here. Or do. I could care less.
Hagatha, we've discussed this. Really? You don't have to show that the second time I encounter the bar in the same run. I could get rid of all of these happily. Well, I may want a round of drinks to all of my enemies. Just because specifically Arthas is absolutely incredible. Both, like, Gruul and Emerus make sense. Gruul is a 4 cost 8/8 that gets bigger, right? Consider it's an 8/8 because it probably will be if it survives the turn it's played, and it will survive the turn it's played. Probably. I think I probably dismissed Clockwork Gnome just because it's really cheap. Sure, it plays for 0, it gives me spare parts, it gives me things back in hand. But those spare parts have really, really minor effects, but they take up half of the cards I can play from a turn with the Robes of Gaudiness. So I probably dismissed that.
Get him out of here.
Kindle, there's a couple.
Is something burning in here?
I thought there were more spells than this in the deck. I was certain there were more spells than this in the deck. Can I just, like, pass this? I can't just leave. That'll leave without doing any of the rest of it. All right, I lose 9 lives. That's a shame. I shouldn't have done that. I guess it was never gonna get hit by Emerus, so that's my argument, right? It was never gonna hit by Emerus, so not even worth having it. Because of the fact that I have another Emerus in deck, the more powerful thing that I can hit with Tell a Story is the thing that's already quite high in stats.
It's a good one.
Because now, that's a 20/20 that I get to generate for 5 mana. This could work. This deck could totally do it, I think. The most dodgy thing so far, I think, has been, well, obviously the removal of 9 lives, but the Hand of Reform over Rocket backpacks, Rocket boots, Rocket boot packs.
Locked up and loaded.
Oh, look, another unsavory type.
Pretty good. Pretty good opening. So yeah, enemy. Oh no, you get to discard cards from hand. Discard a card. Summon a random minion of the same cost. Don't discard the cards. Like, don't do that. Leave them there. The discard will be at random though. So those both trigger at the start of the turn. You hero power, almost certainly.
Well, not all.
Yeah,
souls
got rid of
are
one of my curse.
equality.
Unfortunately, I actually had to kill that minion. Don't you dare discard the other one now.
You are not the boss of me.
The truth is in here.
Yeah, there you go.
To think, some things have such pitiful souls.
I was so mad. Alright. Again, unfortunately, Malchazar CM has to die. Death Rattles trigger twice, so that Dark Shield Librarian is going to be drawing 2 cards. The big thing that Kara Stamper usually runs into is she runs out of minions in hand and loses because she has no more minions. That seems unlikely to happen here because she's got a lot of draw power. Lotheb, Wargear, go face. Yeah, Lotheb, Wargear, go face. Still. Alright. What minions are actually getting here? Muklas! That's so bad for me. What am I getting? So the enemy's getting the ability to buff all of their minions on board by +1/+1 every turn. I really thought they would actually try and clear my board in some way. They get that next turn as well. I get better results whenever I take damage, but I really shouldn't be taking damage. No? It's not crashing. I was certain it was going to crash though.
Dead or alive.
I think if they decide to pivot and just start attacking me, they'll win. Fine.
A small sacrifice to pay.
Oh, that's so good. So the enemy put curses back into their hand now. Alright. I'm gonna take a bunch of HP here.
You're coming with me.
Okay, probably kill that with this. Yep. Alright, and now you can see the problem I was talking about. I'm tapped out. I have absolutely nothing, and my enemy has so much. Thank you for removing that from my top deck. I actually didn't want to draw that. Like, Emerus is fine if I have other stuff to buff, but I don't. That said, Emerus is just an 8/8 on board, so kind of hard to turn that one down. While it sucks to play an Emerus without having anything worth buffing, this is exactly what I knew was going to be the problem once we got the Emeruses. The enemy having, like, double death rattles, so they have extra draw power, as well as being able to generate Malcazars and having 2 extra cards in hand to just discard. Yeah. I actually think we lost this because the enemy started with 2 extra cards. I legitimately believe that to be the case. Because when you're running a discard deck, your resources cards. The more cards you have in hand, the far better off you are. The more things you have to discard to trigger discard effects. And giving my enemy 2 at the start, I guess I just didn't expect to run into Kara Stamper. Probably should have been, I guess.
An unfortunate result of my actions.
Glad you got rid of that card. Oh, Ursatron. Ursatron and Acorn Bearer. If anything's going to pull me out of this death spiral, it will be those 2. Your minions cost 2 more. That's not going to stop the enemy from playing any minions. Do I or do I not try and trade with Officer? I'm going to try and do clever trades.
Careful, they bite.
That said, hand value is the most important thing, so killing the Cabal Trafficker is probably the most important thing to me. Anti-Magic Shell is a great pickup for us. It's going to be a long time until I can actually generate all of the minions on board for that to affect, happily. Oblivitron here is hilarious as well.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive.
Nuts to you.
Okay, we could actually win this. We could actually still win this. I'm really, really enthused to see Death Coil here so that I have the ability to heal myself in the worst case scenario. It's still covered. King Mosh, though. I think King Mosh changes how I play this turn. I think it does. So I now attack across here and here. And then I King Mosh. Destroys all the big minions on board. Summons the Whelp out. The Whelp gets 2 7/7s out there. And then I
wonder what this does.
get 2 more 7/7s out there. That's a pretty big turnaround turn right there. And I don't need to anti-magic shell them until this turn. Hell yeah! Woo! Defeatism defeated. But yeah, the anti-magic shell, like, obviously none of those minions had charge, so it's the only time to really use that. This one, no. Also no. Just like more no. I guess we take Battlecry here just because Barista Lynchon can remove, move back to hand, like actually some pretty important cards in my deck. Both of the Emeruses can come back. The Lotheb and the extra Lotheb, as well as the extra Jeweled McCall we're about to pick up. King's Elic, Galvanizer, Fireworks Tech. And just the card quality in the other ones is really, really low. Thankfully, Barista and Lotheb are both 2 costs.
Ceylon, beware the slender tether of her webs.
Ceylon? I don't know if I remember having ever played this character.
Old Bark Guy versus Ceylon.
Ain't that just the art for the Broodmother?
You're never going to leave.
Hard mole. Just looking for things that I can play more quickly. That'll do. Alright, so is that return a minion to hand? Because if it is, like, I can't play 2 minions. I can play 2 minions in the same turn, but that's it. That could be a problem. Your opponent summons a minion from their hand. Okay. So you're gonna hero power? No. Okay, so they don't necessarily hero power? I'm getting Kel'Thuzad and you're getting Marabi. Hilarious. I think what I'm gonna do here is play Faithful Lumi, then Barista Lynchen. Just to give my hand more minions. Hell yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 2-2 trade-off here for Barista. In fact, that's a large reason why I wanted to develop it.
From the void I come.
That's certainly one way to play a video game. Not the way that I would, you know, go with, personally. It's just me.
What is caught in your web, spider?
I suspect my best play here is to not kill the Voidwalker. Outside of my own turns, at least. I just love how quick the animations are in this game. So, all Death Rattles trigger twice, so I know that that's the only demon they have in their entire hand. Otherwise, where is the other one? So if there's ever a time to kill that, it's now.
Name, please?
Let's get the Jewel Macaw out there. Let's get the Blood Imp out as well. Next turn's Emerus. As well as one of the 0 costs in my hand, I have to imagine. If I can trade off my Web Spinner before I play Emerus, I'm gonna do it 100% of the time. That's one of the reasons why it's developed at the moment. Losing Oblivitron's... yeah, it's fine. Thank you for doing the same garbage trade that allows me to do a good one. Overfill my entire hand here. Hey. I'm also gonna kill the Spider Bomb here, just because I don't want the Spider Bomb to have a shot at my Emerus. Okay, now I just have a board full of 1/1s. And then Emerus doubles everything. Buccaneer at a 4-2 is okay. I'll always be able to play Emerald Reaper at a 4-2, whereas Buccaneer, as soon as that transforms into another card, it's not going to carry the same buff. There are certain ways to make that work, if I recall correctly, from like an old Hysteria vid, but I'm pretty sure in this mode, specifically with the skitterers, it doesn't work. The skitterers, sorry, the shifting chameleons. You can imagine why I said skitterers, right? It's because there's a skitterer on the screen. Okay. So this gives me another opportunity to sack 2 pretty garbage minions. Very happy to do so when given it. And the typical Robes of Gaudiness problem is coming in, where I've now overfilled my entire hand with cards I will basically never be able to play. Especially because a lot of them still generate other cards for me, Blink Fox in particular. It was going to include Arthas, but Arthas has now been played. Okay. It's Glaive Zuka face. Yeah. Nothing else to it. Is there anything else to it? Maybe there is.
I wonder what this does.
Just double trigger that death rattle as well as get more face damage. Seems good to me. Yeah, at this point, I don't even care if the enemy kills my 10-7 with a 1-2. I'm going all face. Neat. And it's still lethal. Ooh. We just had Kel'Thuzad come out and we have the Jade Swarmer. Come on. I was so ready to finally have that Jade Rogue run in Hunter. I mean, if I get it, I'm happy nonetheless. Swamp Queens. No, because I can only ever play it once. Flyby? Alright. There's more battle cry in a way that I don't want. Technologic just got me 2 more Oblivitrons and a Firework Tag. That's pretty good. Katharina is also, you know, nice, as it has a Death Rattle, but the Death Rattle just pulls out garbage minions for us at the moment. So it's Technologic again. The best thing for us is just, like, draw. If we had the ability to pick up a treasure that was just, like, draw a bunch of cards, I probably would have taken it. What comes to mind for draw a bunch of cards? The Muscle? It would generate 3 cards to hand that were all 0 cost, and I wouldn't be able to play all of them that turn, but I would be able to play some of them. I think I'm going to keep this opening hand. Because, like, turn 2, play the Piloted Shredder. Turn 3, Fireworks Tech, Faithful Lumi, etc. Well, turn 2 is actually Piloted Shredder, Faithful Lumi. It's both. Enemy's hero power is... Up to cast a spell, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Yeah, okay, so the enemy basically has... Oh, God, that's gonna suck. I also just gave them 2 spells to cast as well, by the way, so that's really annoying. Hopefully they played both curses this time. But they have Consecration attached to every single spell they cast.
I will remind the world what true magic
Which is, you know, not great
before my
for me.
power.
I get Sogoth, and you get Tunnel Blaster. I think I'd rather be you. Well, next turn I can just play Piloted Shredder Fireworks Tech, whereas this turn I could just get Arthas out. The earlier I get Arthas out, the far better off I think I am. Just because the effects from the Death Knight cards are so impactful. Maybe it's also time to get the Murloc Tidepillar out though. But the Murloc Tidepillar instantly dies. But also every other one, almost every other 1-mana minion is also going to instantly die. Yeah, okay. So I got Doom Pack, destroy all minions, remove the top card of your deck for each minion destroyed, and deal 3 damage to all enemies. Boom.
I wonder what this does.
Hey! Ruby Egg is such a great pull! Summons 2 4/4s for me if the enemy plays any spells. I imagine like one big minion is probably a pretty good strat here. And also, that's all spells cost 2 more. So I leave the Unraveler on board as long as I can. Tech. Alright, I think it's Death and Decay Fireworks tech here.
I wonder what this does.
An Inspire minion that's easy to trigger and a minion that adds 2 more mage spells to my hand that might be quite low cost. Okay. Okay, we got a really, really good draw in this match, and that's going to make up for a lot of stuff for us. Unfortunately, the enemy getting, you know, two legendaries per Frozen Champion dying, as well as 8 damage to the whole board on turn 7 past a taunt is going to be a problem for us. I'm also probably going to play the Dragon Egg here. The enemy can do what they want with board. Up to you. The Dragon Egg is a little bit of insurance against the enemy just clearing my entire board. Sweet. Don't get another taunt minion. You got a Fen Creeper last time. It was annoying. I see 14. Another Empress. Yeah, I see 14 on board. It's not lethal. Sorry, 24, not 14. You know how I got to 14, right? Forbidden Flame isn't even enough to finish off the Syndragosa at this point either, so. You can see that as soon as the Cogmaster transforms, like, it should have 2 Emrys buffs on it, but it only has 1 because it transforms. Yeah, the Tunnel Blaster is going to be a problem here. Is it? Actually, I don't think it will. My minions are too healthy. Yeah, my minions are just too damn healthy for me to even slightly care about that. Okay, we got the absolute god draw there, and also Robes of Gordinos is like mad OP. So it worked out. 53 minutes, not a bad clear time for a hunter. Especially for a deck that was trying to go high end, though, again, Robes of Gordinos, right? Well, for the moment.
Magical fiends flood the streets of Dalaran.
Reductive is an interesting one. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Hearthstone, specifically the Dalaran Heist. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.